Let's begin. We move succinctly into a position of comfort and alertness, where we're foregrounding our breath and sense awareness. Maybe even feeling the body starting to grow a little bit more receptive, right? This ritual that we do and repeat, your body may already be heightening, anticipating the very seat we take can start to facilitate kind of a readiness for ritual, a readiness for exploration, a readiness. So we'll move directly into some breath work. We'll be working rounds of Uddiyana, so belly intensive. We'll set hands behind hips. I'm just putting my fingertips on blocks. All right. And slowly, let's go for a 10 count inhalation. So I think if we empty first, that'll be more likely to occur. So empty everything out. Begin a 10 count inhalation. And now hold the breath. Using your hands, press. You might feel a little squeeze between the backs of the shoulders. You might feel a little bit of an opening or a spreading around the sternal joints. And bring the hands forward. Swift, thorough exhalation. So we're emptying all of that breath out. Remain empty. Begin near the perineum, so the genitals. Begin to draw in from there. And then from the belly, the low belly, and then the higher up belly, kind of the navel area belly. And then keep drawing in until you're drawing in the upper belly, the belly that's more like the solar plexus and rib area belly. Release when you need a breath. So in a sense, we're kind of drawing a line, if you will, from the tailbone, the perineum, the genitals, right through the middle of the pelvis, behind the pubic bone, through the low belly, behind the navel, into the upper abdomen, into the solar plexus, and into the diaphragm, and we can still keep going. This is on my body, this is maybe about 1.5 feet of distance. This is a lot of bodily territory. Let's do another 10 count inhalation. hold. We'll hold about 10 counts. And bring the hands forward. Swift, thorough exhalation. Remain empty. And again, start near the tip of the tailbone, the perineum, the genitals. Begin a drawing in motion. Feeling, drawing in through the center of the pelvis, behind the pubic bone, the lowest, deepest belly, the low belly, underneath the navel, behind the navel, above the navel. Working that in draw all the way through the upper abdominal, through the solar plexus, feeling into the diaphragm. Even spreading the ribs a little bit will help you feel into the diaphragm and underneath the heart, in the middle of the back. Releasing when you need to take a breath. And let's do a third round, a final round on our own. So whenever you are ready, we'll begin a final round of Uddiyana. And if you're not doing Uddiyana for whatever reason, you can simply work 10 count inhalations into a very broad or biased chest opening move and 10 count exhalations. So you can play with the path of breath through the entire front of body. There are occasions we may not want to do Uddiyana. And so just know there's always appropriate variations for you. And simply resume your Ujjayi breath upright when you're ready, and that will just give me a sense of that we're ready. Thank you. Let's set the right leg out in front. Fold the left leg how you love it. You can go heel near groin. I'm going to go heel behind hip. Separate knees widely, no matter the variation. Inhaling, feel both sit bones contact the ground. So if they don't, maybe you need to switch your left leg position. And exhale, reach the left hand behind your back. Help it latch onto either your thigh or your waistband. Okay. Inhale, draw the right arm up, the right arm, lifting it, lifting the chest. I'm going to remain right here, believe it or not. And as you're exhaling, send the left elbow down, reach the right arm up. It's like a deconstructed archer. In fact, we're going to take this right hand behind the skull. So you're cradling, you're kind of cupping the base of your skull with your right hand. Inhale again into the sides of the ribs and the sternum, the front of the chest. And as you're exhaling, reach up to the right shoulder and the right elbow. using your hand to help the back of your neck feel at ease. And as I reach that left elbow down, I continue to clear or help me discover a sense of openness around the left side of neck and shoulder. Okay, once more, one deep breath more. And then exhaling, we'll take a side bend to the right. I'm going to release my right hand and put it to the ground. Lightly pulling with the right hand, continue to sense the chest expansively moving toward the right foot. Rolling back that left shoulder. So the rib cage is also somewhat spiraling. Once more. Release. Inhale. We'll come upright. And we'll set up that simple move on the other side. So we go left leg out. Right leg is bent. The heel can be in front of the groin or behind the right hip. Ensure that both sit bones can be felt on the ground. Kind of situates us kind of deeply into those hip sockets and those hip creases. And then first, inhaling, expand the ribs toward the sky. So you feel this vertical expansion. Exhaling, reach the right hand behind back. Help it find something to grab, the thigh or a pocket. Okay. And now the left hand, inhale, reach it straight up, straight up. And now, left hand reach under the skull. So I'm just kind of cupping the skull. And now the left elbow lifts up, the right elbow reaches down. All the while, softening, lengthening under the brain. So my head is directly over my sit bones. And now reaching through that left elbow to the left, hinging. Then I release that left hand, allow it to go to the ground. And I'm still sending that right elbow away from my collarbone. So the right shoulder and the right side neck continues. I'm continuing to feel that area as more spacious or less clustered, however you like to term it for yourself. But I'm actively drawing my right arm bone away from my ear as I'm breathing. So my breath as acknowledgement can start to register an open shoulder, an open neck, an open bottom brain area. These are such common areas that tend to get clustered. It's like energy coagulations. We get like energy clots in the shoulder and the neck and the back of the brain area. We want great thinking brains. We want high quality thoughts. We want that clarity of mind to penetrate all of the thinking action that we want to do and we need to do. You know, we know there's thoughts and there's better thoughts. So let's come up right. Inhale, come on up. Release. Let's move to dolphin. So we'll set up on our elbows and our knees. Inhaling into the width of the shoulders, kind of exploring space as a width, as a vertical, as a depth, as an expansiveness, as a compressiveness. All plays and boundaries, right? Exhale, curl the toes under, smoothly press the knees up, allowing the neck to soften. And you might just try on for yourself, especially if it's an unfamiliar move, is what does that feel like when energy is kind of coagulated in the body? What does that feel like when I soften or gesture a release somewhere? Can I feel that shift energetically? Well, to me, to feel something energetically goes a little bit beyond feeling something emotionally, right? To me, I tend to find words like density and dimness or lightness and fluidity and vaporous. So to me, they're like more textural qualities of movement. Energy you might feel tacky or gluey or clumpy, or might feel fluid, rapid, tumultuous. And we'll gently set our knees down. Now, when we stand, I hope you can find a section of wall to use. So I just want you to have a fingertip touch on the wall behind you. So we're taking on the shape of pinch my asana or forearm balance. But the distance I'm standing from the wall, this is my back to the wall, I'm standing heels maybe 10 or 12 inches from the wall, forearm distance, right? And I'm setting up my hands, like I've got my palms touching, my forearms above my head, like I would do a forearm balance on the ceiling, right? So there it is. It's just standing, elbows bent, fingertips on a wall behind you. Inhaling into the sides of the ribs, the armpits, and then exhaling, keeping the fingertips touching the wall, lift up and reach up through the elbows. So this is a form of forearm balance, but with none of the weight being added to the shoulders for now. The biggest detail when we do this, well, two details, and it looks like we're all doing the one, which is keeping those biceps really close to the temples, to the head. And the other detail is feeling breath in those high up reaches of the rib cage. So let's say we're here for 4 additional breaths. Can you breathe into the clavicle, under the sternum, and into the armpits? So our breath gets into near the carotid artery and the lymph nodes of the armpit and the breast area. Releasing, reaching the legs down toward the earth, letting those hip sockets open. And release. Okay. And then find a block or a roll, any prop that you might put between your legs. Will remain standing as we work a standing back bend with an object between the legs. And we'll go hands or fists to the back of the pelvis. So 1, start to feel weight in both of your feet. Right? If one of our hips is holding some extra tension, we may feel the weight unevenly in our feet. All right, inhaling, hands press down. Feel your entire abdomen and low back lifting away from the block. I'm feeling the mid-back. Can you breathe the mid-back up away from the low back? I'll give those elbows a little squeeze together, just a little squeeze. And this is the thing, it's maintaining that activation around the shoulder as we take 3 deep breaths more under the shoulder girdle and into the sides and the upper ribs. And release. Great. So we'll be changing or transitioning to bridge. There's two forms of breath work you can do in bridge. I'll talk through them both. I want you to know. One is we can be working a round of Uddiyana, and two, we can omit Uddiyana and simply track our exhalation, influencing all of this low belly pathway. Okay? So I just want to describe that. And let's have a seat on our mat, setting up for bridge. If you can reach and touch the heels with your fingertips, take one more step, kind of place your elbows on the ground, and then shuffle, slide one shoulder blade down, slide the other shoulder blade down, so you've drawn the shoulders away from the neck a little bit extra. Okay? Inhaling into the abdomen, the solar plexus, lifting the chest away from your lap. And then exhaling, shifting the tailbone up, the buttock lifts, the spine lifts. We enter bridge. Now, having set up those shoulders and shoulder blades just like so, my elbows, my upper arms on the ground, I'm going to face my fingertips toward the sky. So my forearms are vertical. That's it. And now I'm going to issue a pressure down, just a little pressure down, as I inhale into the upper chest. All right, exhaling, using your low belly muscles, just smoothly exhaling. Letting the exhalation just influence or contact or stretch through any of that lower abdomen. Now, this is where our decision comes in. You can do a round of Uddiyana if for whatever reason you don't want that kind of breath work or those breath holds. So stay with a simple exhalation. All right, so we'll take that deep inhalation, light arm pressure straight down. So you can bias that lift through the chest. And then either exhaling or Uddiyana, your decision. For those of you that do or can do Uddiyana, it's just really interesting, I think, when the organs are shifted in this fashion. So I'm still issuing a little bit of arm pressure, my arms pressing down into the ground, my forearms are vertical, and we'll remain for 2 additional breaths in bridge. The point of the arm work is to help you increase that breath access into the chest and that upper back. The heads of the shoulders, the shoulder blades, they're on the ground. And begin the descent. You might like to continue pressuring your arms into the ground as you lower. And then once your upper back touches, you can release the arm pressure, feeling the mid-back lower to the ground. the low back, the sacrum. Okay. Now, some of you may need to just remain in this position as your brain and your spinal fluids kind of find their equilibrium. So you need to remain here. That's perfectly fine. Otherwise, if you're ready to move, we'll turn over and we'll press to standing at the top of our mat. Take your time. That can be a big fluid shift in our organs and around our neck and our brain. Good. Cheer pose. Inhale, bend knees, reach arms up. Exhale, fold forward, allowing the back of the neck to soften. Monkey. Inhale, lengthen the face, the chest away from the lap. Exhaling, step or lightly jump the feet back. And we'll lower. Cobra. Inhale, draw the chest forward. Exhale, lower, downward dog. Reset, hands under chest. Press back. Now remaining in downward dog for just a moment here. Give ourselves a chance to feel the sit bones lifting away from the back of the brain. Warrior two, inhale, step the left foot forward. We're stepping directly into, I should say, reverse warrior. Drawing the left arm up and then reaching it overhead. The right hand supports on the right thigh. If you're pretty flexible here, you're looking for a little more sensation to play with, you may try angling your left arm into a few different places in the room. You might try kind of counterbalancing that arm reach by sending your rib cage back and breathing the rib cage back. Inhale, come upright. Use the left arm to draw you up. Eagle. Exhale, hook this left elbow over the right elbow. So we're still kind of getting into that shoulder blade and back of ribs area, I hope. Inhaling. So if I am to reach my arms forward by way of counterpoint, my back of ribs have to kind of lean or sense backward. For anything that's reaching forward, there's a counterpoint. It may not be a moving counterpoint, but there's the felt sense of the ribs expanding back or And inhaling, unwind the arms, reach them out to the side. Turn the palms up. And exhaling, allow the shoulders to melt away from the neck. So again, that's palms up, shoulders gliding down. Now you may get a kick out of slightly reaching those thumbs backward. That may give you a stretch that you love. It's like a broadening, a chest broadening move. And inhale, place the hands down near the left foot. Exhaling, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward dog. So I want to repeat a move with you as you're in downward dog. Again, it's just another way to drive variable sensing, just lots of ways to sense these infinite areas of the body. So if my forearm bones are moving toward the earth, can I feel my upper arm bones lifting away from the forearm bones? If my upper arm bones are moving toward the earth, can I feel my shoulder blade bones lifting away from my upper arm bones? I think these are really cool exercises or inquiries rather, to perform around the reaching appendages of the body. I think it's really cool to discover how energy has patterned itself in the structure of our reaching out, our gathering structure, our embracing structures. Inhale, step the right foot forward, warrior two, or I should say reverse warrior. Right? The hands, the arms, the shoulders. Right? These are the instruments of grabbing, clutching, embracing, reaching, opening, right? Gesturing. So energetically, to feel the ways that energy gets coagulated or freely moves or hemorrhages, I think can give us some deeper insight into, what do you call our just what motivates or patterns our motivations. We may have very pure, clear, clean motivations, but they may be moving through a body that's quite patterned, a lens, it's colored, right? So we just want to play and find out where and how is my body coloring what I'm motivated to say and do. Maybe I like the coloration. And so kind of reaching with the breath back into the right upper quadrant of the heart and the lung. So as the ribs kind of spread back, the shoulder blade can reach forward. I'm kind of feeling the rib shoulder blade connection now. This way. Eagle, inhale, draw the right arm up and over. Exhaling, we'll go right over, left. So here, can you feel the ribs as counterpoint to the shoulder blade and the arms reaching forward? I've gotten to see a lot of post-accident recoveries, and so something really like finite and discrete like an accident could preclude finishing or completing a reaching, a bracing movement. And that energy of reach might still live in the body, even if the motion isn't quite conclusive. So to feel the energy and the ways the body is expressing it with or without the movement can be so helpful. Inhaling, unwind your eagle arms, stretching them out to the side, turning the palms up, biceps up. To offer just one more kind of variation is maybe I notice that I'm very likely to sense my reaching out, but I can't quite feel the energy of taking in. Right? That's a very possible pattern. So we can start to look at what parts of the palate we possess and express freely, and what parts of the movement palette are kind of blurry. Inhale, take the hands around the right foot. Exhale, chaturanga. When we lower all the way down, we'll work shoulder shrugs. And just for variation, I'll show you that you can do these from your knees if you don't want to lie down. It might be a little nicer for some of your backs. But also, this is the position of the arms, like a W, thumbs beside the shoulders. Inhaling into the upper back. Now squeeze the upper back. Release, squeeze the middle back. Release, squeeze the bottom tips. Release. Inhale, we'll do a couple more rounds. And then exhaling, squeeze tops of shoulders, release, squeeze middle parts of shoulder blades, release, squeeze bottom tips of shoulder blades. Last one, final one, inhaling. And exhale, squeeze tops of shoulders and middle parts. And then bottom tips. Right. Releasing. Inhale, hands under chest. Exhale, downward dog. And now we'll step our feet back a few inches, 1, 2, or 3 inches. So your downward dog is, the base has broadened. This will greatly change the angle that your shoulders are working through. Inhale, step or lightly jump feet forward, monkey. Exhale, fold. Chair pose, bend knees, inhale, draw the arms up. And stand, exhaling, hands to heart. The time has come. It is dolphin at the wall time. Lots of options. You can do forearm balance. You can kick up and be entirely vertical. We can do dolphin on the wall. That's what I'll do today. Or if you don't want to be upside down for whatever reason, remember we have that variation, that pinch of variation where you're simply standing, and it can be a really awesome get in there chest move, right? So let's make our move. If you're using a wall, go for it. Again, you can do forearm balance. I am going to do dolphin, and I'll talk through it just to give us a gauge of time. So I've got knees and elbows. I'm clasping my hands for this one, allowing the neck to relax, connecting to breath, exhaling the knees off the ground. I like to be quite close to the wall for this one. And then inhaling, step one foot to the wall, hip height. And always timing it, moving with your breath. Exhale, the other foot up. We'll go for about 6 to 8 breaths. If you're looking for some variation, it's kind of fun to split the feet apart a little bit like a pyramid stance on the wall. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, just continue being upside down and and that's perfect. Great. It looks like we've all, or almost all, just, yeah, continue doing what you're doing. That's right. We're going to do 2 final poses. I'd recommend stay by the wall. And the first move is downward dog, reaching one leg up at a time. So real basic, just your regular old downward dog. Exhaling, pressing into it. And then inhaling, sweep the left foot up. And I want you to reach to this left leg as if you're helping to draw that right heel into the ground. So let that left leg pulley your right heel nearer to the ground. So how can that left leg draw me backward? To kind of lengthen through that right side hip if it Now we'll switch sides. We'll set that left leg down. Inhale, smoothly reach the right leg up. And when we set the right foot down, arrive at standing, I want to show you the next move because you may want a variation. We rarely work Warrior 3, but today is our day. If Warrior 3 doesn't work well for your back, I'll show this to you in pyramid. I'm using the wall. I put both of my hands on the wall, just like shower. My feet are just like shower. My hands are just like shower. And then I reach the left leg, one leg at a time, straight back. And I'm reaching that leg as if to pulley my right heel into the earth, almost my hands off the wall. This is a pretty great kind of work for the back muscles. There may be one or two of you who don't like the feeling in the back, which is fine. Then work shower with a pyramid variation so that you can keep both of your feet on the ground and palm press. That palm pressure will help activate supportive musculature around the low back and the abdomen, right? So I'll talk through Warrior 3 on a wall. First, shower, standing about 3 feet, hands shoulder width. I fold, there's shower, just like I remember it. You might squiggle your right foot in an inch toward the midline, and inhale, draw the left leg back. Reach it back. You can reach through the forefoot, that's one option. You could reach through the heel, that's a second option. They both feel different. The idea here is to not just to let the belly sag, but there's a right amount of support that comes in through the abdomen that keeps your back from sagging and feeling pinched upon. So you'll have to find that right amount of abdominal engagement. All right, let's switch sides. We'll put that foot down. And then to switch, inhale, I believe it's the right foot will reach back. Again, if you've ever gotten that adjustment from me, sometimes I'll be pulling your hips backward on this. Your right leg now does that. Your right leg is pulling you back. Your hands might tenuously be connected to the wall. Deep breath. Good, then you can press with those arms, press, 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 and both hips will lengthen back. All right, set that back foot down, walk your way to standing. It is time we ought to take Shavasana. So let's move away from the wall to our resting spot. And please, let's make a restful moment. Let your let your rest moments offer a reflective quality, a reflector for your action moments. Let these moments of quietude and silence reflect the totality of our action moments. To feel that our actions have momentum and influence through time, I think is so important. And I know in my practice, big actions often need big rest, big quiet. So may you find deep silence. May you find deep quietude. Feel all that we've set in motion for the day. Feel all that we've started to set free from our body. And with renewed clarity and connection to our vitality, let's start to move. Bend knees. Turn to a side. Press to seated. Namaste. So great to see y'all.